A single, weathered ceramic bowl rests on a rough dark oak table. A narrow beam of dusty sunlight cuts through the dark room. Dust motes drift slowly in the light like tiny floating stars. The hand-carved wood reveals deep grain, scars, and splinters. A pair of calloused hands rests perfectly still on the table. Inside the thatched cottage, shadows cling to dried herbs hanging from the walls. A hearth filled with cold white ashes marks a fire long dead. Close-up of an unblinking eye reflecting the distant window light. A high-angle shot reveals the man isolated in the corner of the room. The ceramic bowl reveals a tiny crack shaped like lightning.
The dust begins swirling faster as though touched by invisible wind. The wooden table trembles almost imperceptibly. A blurred reflection appears inside the bowl, a man who is not there. Warm sunlight slowly shifts into a bruised purple glow. A shadow forms on the wall resembling a soldier's helmet. A hand tightens into a fist, knuckles pale as bone. Rain against the roof begins sounding like distant war drums. Thin frost creeps across the rim of the ceramic bowl. Half the man's face disappears in a shadow while sweat forms on his skin. The air thickens into a slow rising haze.
Wet mud suddenly appears across the floorboards from nowhere. Marching iron boots ripple visibly through a trembling cup of water. Window shutters shake violently despite the still air outside. A flash of orange firelight streaks across the bowl like a distant city burning. The air turns cold blue, with the feeling of ozone and wet. Iron, skeletal branches scrape against stone walls like fingernails. The bowl emits a low metallic hum. The man stares at phantom blood covering his hands. The sharp metallic sound of a sword being drawn echoes through the cottage. The cottage walls dissolve into thick rolling fog. The man sits motionless yet appears to stand at the jagged edge of the world. Fragments of memory collide, burning thatch, broken wheels, empty voids. Grinding gears and failing iron echo like the collapse of a machine world. The man's breath escapes as cold white steam. The echo chamber erupts into roaring wind and screaming metal. The ceramic bowl glows with an unnatural inner light. A thin silhouette, the gaunt traveler, appears silently in the doorway. Gravity distorts as objects begin hovering above the table. A single drop of water hangs beneath a wooden beam. The drop falls slowly through the purple haze. It strikes the oak table beside the bowl. A ripple of perfect clarity expands outward. The echo chamber shatters instantly into absolute silence. The cottage returns to grey daylight and soft rain. A small wet circle remains on the table like a mirror of the present. The man exhales as tension leaves his body. Final wide shot. The cottage stands silent and safe behind the village walls.